Hi, Jewish Mom. For a long time now, unless I'm on a vacation or something else comes up, every single Sunday morning I sit down and I make a mommy pep talk. But this week something very unusual happened. I could not think of anything to talk about. I don't remember that actually ever happening. But then last night I understood why. I read the issue, last week's issue of Ami magazine, and I read the incredibly powerful and moving interview with Rabbi Gavriel Sassoon about his family. And I understood why. I hadn't thought of anything to say the morning before, because I meant to talk about this. There's a certain message that Rabbi Sassoon wants to get out to the world, and I want to help him spread it through JewishMom.com. So first of all, I wanted to say, I was really surprised to get to know Rabbi Sassoon through this article. I had heard a little bit about him. I had heard that he's of some sort of Sephardic background, something maybe lived for a few years in Israel, Brooklyn. I didn't really know anything about him. Isha Torah. Aside from that, I didn't know anything about him. It turns out he comes from a very unusual background. He grew up. He grew up as part of a very small Jewish community in Kobe, Japan. Until the age of 14, he lived in Japan, where his father was a very successful Syrian businessman. Tragically, when he was 14, his mother passed away, and he and his brother and sister were sent away to a Jewish boarding school in England. After that, he attended the London School of Economics, and then the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. And he tells how, right after graduation from University of Pennsylvania with a degree in business, so he went to Japan and was working for some sort of elite financial firm. And he saw that everyone around him was working, nonstop to become millionaires, and they were actually really, working really hard and actually somewhat succeeding in their goal. And Rabbi Sassoon decided, at the time he wasn't religious. He said very traditional, not religious. He saw everyone around him, and he said, these are people who are working all the time, part of this rat race all the time, in order to live 2 weeks a year for on some sort of fancy vacation. He said, I want to live every day. I want to live all the time. So he decided to leave everything and come. He had a friend who was at Esha Torah who was planning to stay for a month. He ended up staying 5 years at Esha Torah, and then after that he went to another yeshiva. He was learning at another yeshiva for 5 years, then because of something connection with his wife's family, which she didn't specify, they moved to Brooklyn, something just so striking about Rabbi Sassoon, I guess especially for someone who has a background in finance and went to business school, etc. He's a person who just really decided to just leave all that and really dedicate his entire life to spirituality, to his what's important to him is spirituality and connection to Hashem, and the 6 constant mitzvot. He's like the walking 6 constant mitzvot. This person, Rabbi Sassoon. Really, really, really impressive individual. So I wanted to share with you. Rabbi Sassoon requested to give a message. There's a message which he wanted to share. In fact, he actually requested this interview with the editor-in-chief of Ami magazine. And why? Because he had a certain message he wants to get across. Okay. So Rabbi Frankfurter, the editor-in-chief, asked him, so what's the basic message you'd like to share? You'd like to impart? Rabbi Sassoon says, to get through anything in life, you have to surrender to Hashem. To get through anything in life, you have to surrender to Hashem. I'm repeating. You have to let go, because everything you think you want is only from your perspective. It's in your head. It's not reality. It's not really truth. When you let go of your ego, the structure your ego created, you can be one with Hashem on a different level. I'm going to read it again. Okay, I just think this is really something, especially considering what he's just been through. Rabbi Sassoon says, to get through anything in life, you have to surrender to Hashem. You have to let go, because everything you think you want is only from your perspective. It's in your head. It's not reality. It's not really truth. When you let go of your ego, the structure your ego created, you can be one with Hashem on a different level. Rabbi Frankfurter says, letting go is difficult for many people. Rabbi Sassoon says a person needs to do his hishtadlut. I'm talking about working on inner attitude, understanding that Hashem is running the show. Then you can deal with things much more calmly and confidently, without stress. Tragedies happen to wake us up so we can see what's real and what's important in life. Loving your children, loving your spouse, loving your fellow Jew. We have to consciously live with that and care about others. That usually only happens when people pass away. But then they go back to their regular lives. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, so I just wanted to go back and emphasize two things. And I encourage all of you to read to buy this issue of Ami Magazine. In fact, I encourage you to read Ami Magazine every week. I love Ami Magazine, but especially this week. If you don't usually buy magazines, make sure to buy this one. You should really read the entire article. It's kind of article that really, at least me, I feel like it's an article that really won't leave me like ever. It's an article that that sort of changed me, and there are very, very, very few things I read that I feel do that. So just going back to review. So what's he saying about to get through anything in life, you have to surrender to Hashem. So I know, like my teacher Rabbi Niven. So he says, he once said to us, like if you're sleeping on a mattress and there's rocks underneath, don't sleep on the rocks. Move the rocks. Like if there's something difficult in life and you can change it, then change it. Why not? But whatever. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But in this situation, in so many situations in life, there's things that we cannot change. There's so many things that we cannot change. There's so many difficult things about society and our lives and the world that we cannot change. And it requires us to follow Rabbi Sassoon's, lead and to just surrender to Hashem. We don't have anyway, we don't have any choice. We should at least, to look and see, okay, this is Hashem's will. I don't know why, but Hashem, you are running the world. Okay? The next thing I want to just repeat is about what tragedies teach us. They teach us about what's real and what's important in life. Loving your children, loving your spouse, loving your fellow Jew. So Rabbi Sassoon, he talks about he said since he lost his mother at such a young age, something that was always so important to him was spending time with his kids, doing fun things with them, hanging out with them. It sounds like they were just like this incredible family, like just kids who are just really like little tzaddikim, like really just always besimcha, almost always besimcha, just wonderful neshamot, like wonderful people, wonderful kids. And just an amazing level of purity and holiness to these kids who were taken. And Rabbi Sassoon, he never took them for granted. He always just understood what a precious gift he had been given. And so I bless all of us. That we're heading into summer vacation, that we should be able to do that, to be able to look at our children and remember. It's difficult. I know it's difficult. I'm doing it too. To remember, the precious gift that we've been given. So I want to bless all of us. I want to bless you and me and Rabbi Sassoon, that all of us and all of Am Yisrael, that from now on that we should only experience happy occasions.